Hello friends, it's Jim O'Rear. Thanks for joining me for another video. On today's video, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a Disney book review. I've never done a book review before, but what the heck? And it's going to be on this, Evil Thing by Serena Valentino. And this is an origin book of Cruella De Vil from 101 Dalmatians. Now, this author did a series of these books featuring all kinds of villains and their backstories and things like that. And Cruella is my all-time favorite Disney character. Yes, I said favorite Disney character, not just favorite Disney villain. Favorite all-time Disney character. So, of course, I had to read the backstory on Cruella. And Cruella, if you don't know, is from 101 Dalmatians. Now, this was the 17th animated film that Walt Disney put out, and it was actually one of the last ones that Walt Disney had his hands in personally himself before he died. And it's a cute film with a great villain and a great character. So, if you're not familiar with the film, let's just do a quick recap.
The story of 101 Dalmatians focuses on Roger and Anita, whose Dalmatians Pongo and Perdita bring them together in a park one day. They eventually fall in love, and they get married, and Perdita ends up being pregnant with puppies. So, it doesn't take long for an old acquaintance to show up at their apartment hearing about these puppies, and it's Cruella De Vil, the villain of the story. And she wants to get her hands on those puppies so that she can make a new fur coat out of them. She thinks that the whole spotted fur thing may be a good look for her. So, she's told to come back in just a few weeks when the puppies will be born. Well, right to the day when the puppies are born, Cruella shows up to get her puppies. And the parents of the puppies, Pongo and Perdita, as well as Roger and Anita, so love these puppies that they don't want to sell any of them to Cruella. So, Cruella has to devise a new plan to get hold of these puppies. So she hires a couple of henchmen, Horace and Jasper, and she hires them to break into Roger and Anita's place and steal the puppies. Not only that, she arranges for them also to get all of the Dalmatians in the area and all the pet stores and everything to get hold of them so that she can have tons of puppies to make her coat out of. So it makes the news that a dog napping has happened. Yep, all 15 puppies of Pongo and Perdita are gone, as well as all of the puppies in the surrounding area. So Cruella is well on her way to making her fur coat out of the Dalmatians. So it's left up then to Pongo and Perdita to find a way to get their puppies back and rescue all the puppies. And this they do with the help of a lot of other dogs and animals in the area. So that's basically the story or the basis behind the original 101 Dalmatians movie.
So, that's the story that you know. Now let's talk about the story you don't know. And I'm not going to give away a lot of spoilers. There may be a few little spoilers in here, but I'm not going to, I'm going to try my best not to give away a lot because I want you to read the book if you're interested in Cruella and have some surprises. Now, first off, the cover's cool, but when you take the jacket off, it's crazy, Cruella. Anyway, so what I'll start out saying is that Serena Valentino, she's written, lots of Disney villain books, and this one, the character is not as sympathetic in this book as some of the other characters that she's written backstories on. Cruella, this is written in the voice of Cruella, as if Cruella was telling the author her story. So it reads like Cruella talking to you. And I have a little issue with that because the movie sets up Cruella's voice a certain way in your head, and that's the way you hear it. And it's not exactly written in the same rhythm as Cruella in the movie speaks. So it took me a moment to get over that and get used to the rhythm of the way this particular Cruella speaks. And as with the other books in the series, it tries to explain why the villain did what they did, what took them to those circumstances. And I like villain characters because, I work in film, and the Coen brothers, who write great villains, told me once that a villain is not a villain. They just are who they are. And Cruella just is who she is. And one thing that the book gets right is that it portrays that about her, is that she just is what she is, and this is why she is what she is, and why she thinks what she's doing is right. So basically, the book starts when Cruella is 11 years old and being raised in a rich household in London, and is very neglected by her parents. Her father got all the wealth. He's very sick now and dying. The mother doesn't really want to have anything to do with her, and is gone all the time. And Cruella is being raised by servants, but desperately wants the attention of her mother. And it goes into a whole lot of that. And it goes into it so much that it's a little bit too much from time to time, where you get to the point where you go, okay, I get it. You want your mom's attention. But her mom makes her what she is. So it follows Cruella from being 11 years old, going through the death of her father, her struggles trying to get her mom's attention, while she's basically being raised by the servants in her house. And her best friend is Anita. Ta-ting, which should ring bells to fans of the movie, that Anita is one of the main characters right here in 101 Dalmatians. So Anita and Cruella were childhood friends. And I'd always wondered, in that very first scene when you first see Cruella in the movie appear, why she is so familiar with Anita. Well, this book goes into their history and their time in school together and growing up together, as well as the meeting they have in the park just before Cruella shows up to try and get the puppies the first time. So it explains a lot of that as to why Cruella and Anita are so familiar in that first meeting. And then it goes on and follows Cruella as her mom is trying to get her married off, and the complications around the wealth and what was left to Cruella, and how that is going to play out if she gets married. And she does get married, and there's a whole story about the wedding and the man she falls in love with, and their history and what happens as far as that goes. So tragedy after tragedy happens. You find out that actually the main puppy in this, Perdita, belonged to Cruella as a puppy to begin with, and that gets her link to Perdita and Pongo and Anita, and her wanting the puppies of Perdita as well. So I'm not going to go into a lot of the secrets of why that's important and why she's doing what she's doing. If you want to know why, you need to read the book. But anyway, that's sort of a brief overview of it. It talks about why she dresses the way she does, the way her hair got the way it is, and all of that. So it's an interesting backstory. I wish it would have gone a little bit deeper, like some of the other books in the series do. It tends to stay on about 3 of the same notes all the way through the book. The mother and her relationship with the servants and the classes in London, that kind of thing, and how that goes into her thinking. So it does sort of stick on a few notes as opposed to a wide range of things. But overall, interesting read. Had a few neat little things in there that you can take away if you're a fan of the character and the movie. I would recommend it if you, especially if you're a fan of Cruella and want a little bit more of the backstory and something that fills in a few of the gaps from the movie that are just kind of there. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this little look into Evil Thing, the history of Cruella De Vil from 101 Dalmatians, and hope it may make you interested in reading this and some more of the series, because it's a fun little series. If you did like the video, please click on that like button to let YouTube know that you did like the video, and while you're at it, click on the subscribe button, and that will subscribe you to the channel and notify you when I upload more videos in the future, which I do about every 3 to 4 days. Also, if you're interested in joining me on Facebook, I have started a Facebook group called Jim O'Rear's Wacky World, and there will be more links to videos and things in there, as well as a lot of silly Disney and horror things and villains and stuff like that. So join me there on Facebook as well. I want to thank you again for watching the video, and we will see you next time.